Welcome back to Internet Frenzy. I am Whitney, and my co host is Joe, and he is not here today. We have been crazy busy during the holidays, and we have had to kind of take a step back for a second, but we're back. Fortunately, Joe can't be here today. He's at work, and this is the only time I can film. So, this is what we're doing, and we're going to make it happen. And don't worry, this episode's going to be fantastic. I've got some juicy stuff coming up. But before we get into that, let's go over our episode from our last current episode, which was humans going feast mode. The stories were no Thanksgiving football. So you couldn't have football on during Thanksgiving because the men, that's all they do, and they don't help the women. So the wife was putting her foot down. The next one was the girl that her mom was really, really sick, but the mom loved Thanksgiving and the daughter did not, but she did it for her mom. So she was just venting on Reddit saying how much she hated Thanksgiving. And then the girlfriend takes leftovers. This one was by far, I think, my favorite one of the episode because I would just die if I did that. And I have actually seen this happen at a family Thanksgiving where it was the first time a boyfriend came in, he was grabbing all of the leftovers. And we were like, what? Who do you think you are? What are you doing? So, anyways, so funny. I actually have a really funny story with that I will probably tell eventually. And then the fourth one was Who Ruined Thanksgiving? And that was the one where Joe did like kind of the thread, and it was a bunch of different responses to it. That one was obviously real based on it being a thread, and we kind of told a bunch of different random little stories. The fake of the last week's episode was no football on Thanksgiving. I don't know if any woman would have the balls to tell all these men no football on Thanksgiving. Like, that's so crazy to me. So, anyways, I'm sure there's families out there that don't watch football on Thanksgiving. There's got to be. But yeah, our family is not one of them, and Joe would literally fire me if I ever did that. So, but I'm really excited for this week's episode. It is going to be a blast. This one we're just gonna get crazy, and honestly, I'm really glad I'm doing this episode by myself because for many reasons. But let me tell you the title of it. So the title of this week's episode is Caught Red-Handed. So this is the wildest ways cheaters get exposed. So lots of crazy stories we found on the internet. It's insane. People suck. But I do feel like I get very heated, and I am very much like, I'm pretty strong-willed when it comes to this stuff, and Joe is much more like, give them the benefit of the doubt. What if blah, blah, blah? I'm like, no, screw them. They shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of nice. I'm just going to be able to be like unleashed today where I can just like express however I freaking want without freaking Mr. Nice guy over here telling me that like maybe they are a good person. No, you're not. You suck, you cheater, you know? So, anyways, let's get into it. I'm stoked. So, this story went viral on Reddit, but I found it on People magazine website or whatever. But it says the title is Man Dumps Girlfriend After She Made Out with a Local Athlete. She claims it didn't count and wasn't even that bad. After discovering his girlfriend kissed someone from her hall pass list, one man questioned whether ending the relationship was the right call. A man sought advice from the Reddit community after breaking up with his girlfriend for acting on what she claimed was an agreed upon freebie. He explained that the incident happened years earlier, but that he still wondered whether he was in the wrong here. Reflecting on the relationship, he recalled the day they discussed hall pass lists, saying her choices included mostly athletes from our hometown. He admitted that it struck him as odd choices to me since mine were all actresses and singers, but said he ultimately thought nothing of it. Months later, his girlfriend went out for a birthday celebration with friends and ended up at a crowded downtown club. According to him, my girlfriend ended up making out with one of the guys on her list, something only he learned because of a friend who was there told him afterward. He confronted his girlfriend and she confirmed the encounter happened, but insisted it wasn't cheating, as you remembered. She said yes, it did happen, but then insisted that because it was with someone on her previously disclosed list that it didn't count. The revelation left him stunned and hurt, especially given his history. I had been cheated on before in a relationship years prior, and it shattered my trust. What troubled him even more was her attempt to justify the moment as harmless. She told him it was just making out and touching, so it wasn't even that bad, and argued that she wouldn't have been upset if the roles were reversed. In that moment, he made the decision to end the relationship. I didn't know what to say, but I just ended it there, believing she had been unfaithful to me just to make out with a celebrity who didn't actually even give a crap about her. Okay, so a lot of the comments are talking about how this is a good example and lesson for the guy to set boundaries for the girl because the girl obviously said, "Well, it was on my list. We agreed to. If it's on our list, we can do it." They were saying, "Well, it was technically allowed on paper, but emotionally crossed a boundary." I think it's really weird that she did choose someone local rather than like a celebrity like Channing Tatum. I think it's really sad that he was cheated on before. Oh, I like this. Someone commented, "A freebie list with reachable people is asking for trouble." I'm like, that is so true. I can't even imagine dating someone and them being like, freaking Susan down the street, she's on my hall pass. It's like, oh, okay. Like, that's gonna be a no. So that would be really wild to have your girlfriend say something like that. I think he absolutely did the right thing by saying peace out to her. And the fact that she didn't validate any of his feelings after he was like clearly heartbroken and like his trust was shattered. Being cheated on doesn't just like hurt someone's feelings. Like it literally psychologically and emotionally shifts that literally change how someone processes relationships and trust. There was this therapist that talked about how the brain treats infidelity like trauma. Therapists often classify betrayal trauma as a form of relational PTSD. Why? Because the brain depends on attachment figures for safety. So, someone who's been cheated on may overthink, scan for danger, have intrusive thoughts, be hypersensitive to inconsistencies, panic when something feels off, even mildly. It's not insecurity, it's a trauma response. It changes the cortisol and adrenaline floods your body. It's the same hormonal response as a physical threat. Heart racing, shaking, difficulty sleeping, loss of appetite, obsessive thinking. This chemical storm can last to weeks to months, depending on support and healing. Your attachment system rewires. It's not being dramatic. I have to say, if you have cheated on someone in the past and you're listening to this, you have literally changed that person. And this is where Joe would come in and try and like calm me down a little bit. But seriously, it is the worst. I mean, obviously there's murder, but it is one of the worst things you can do to someone you love. The fact that this man was cheated on before just is very interesting to me that he did not want to make clear boundaries when it came to this hall pass, especially when the hall pass was doable because they were local. Those types of rules cannot be fuzzy. So I hope he has learned from this lesson and he makes it damn sure for the next one that there are clear boundaries. Because then years later, he's not going on the internet asking, should I not have broken up with her? It's like, bro. Okay, so this one might be controversial, and I am curious to hear what you guys would say. If Joe was here, I feel like he would definitely give this person a lot of grace, and I would not. So this is off the subreddit, cheating stories. My husband of 5 years has kissed another girl. I am heartbroken. It is very out of character for him, and I never expected it. He is sorry and wants to work on things. Can he change? He was in a random bar far away from our hometown. He kissed a random girl and has not had any contact with this woman since. Icy Setting commented, you need to give more context before people can vote on that. Was he drunk? Did he know her? Does he still have contact with her? Was it in a bar with a stranger? Bubbly code. He was drunk. He has never met the woman before. He has had no contact since the kiss. There was nothing but a kiss. And she said, I'm just scared it will happen again. Oh, Sparkle and Shine commented, how did you find out, OP? Just so you're aware, we just kissed is hands down one of the most common lies a cheater tells their betrayed spouse. So common, in fact, it's said to be straight out of the cheater's playbook and is known as trickle truth. Just a kiss ends up being, we kissed and felt each other up. We kissed and felt each other up ends up, we kissed, felt each other up and did oral. We kissed, felt each other up and did oral ends up, we kissed, felt each other up, did oral, and we're naked in bed together and started to have PIV sex. Oh my gosh. But I couldn't go through with it, and so on and so forth. You get the gist, I'm sure. In the end, that it's just a kiss turns out to actually have been full-blown sex with multiple rounds. Here's the thing. Two grown-ass adults that are sexually attracted to each other that have time and proximity on their side don't just kiss like a couple of inexperienced teenagers. Especially so if they're drunk and their inhibitions are lowered. They have sex and plenty of it. You need to dig deeper, OP. Wow. So that person has obviously been betrayed because they have been through the ringer. The trickle truth is real. It is real, y'all. Oh my gosh. Boy, is it real. If you find something out that you're like, huh, That's interesting. That sucks. That hurts. Why did you do that? And they'll tell you something. But I am telling you, it is not the full truth, and you have to dig deeper, y'all. Get those detective glasses on. Life is hard out here for women and men. I know plenty of men that have been cheated on, and the trickle truth has been applied as well to that. Okay, and now our next story is number 3. Found out my wife wasn't working out at the gym. She was working out with someone else. I'm 33M and my wife is 31F. Married 6 years. No major issues, at least none I know about. About 2 months ago, she got really into going to the gym, which was great. She said it helped her anxiety, gave her something to focus on. She started going 4 to 5 days a week, mostly in the evenings after work. I was actually really proud of her. She'd come home happy and say that her trainer worked her really hard today. This trainer was apparently amazing. She talked about him constantly, not in a weird way at first, just like gym talk. One night, she forgot her water bottle in my car and texted asking if I could bring it. I was already near the gym running errands, so I figured, sure, why not surprise her? I pulled into the parking lot and immediately noticed her car parked way in the back, nowhere near the entrance. Weird, but whatever. The place gets busy. I walk in, tell the guy at the front desk I'm dropping off a water bottle for my wife. He goes, "Oh, I don't think she's here today. I haven't seen her." I'm confused because her car is literally outside. He double checks. Nope, she definitely hasn't checked in. I go back out, walk around the building thinking maybe she's outside somewhere cooling off. That's when I see her. I decide to go towards her car, and there I see something happening in the back seat of the car. Here she is making out with some dude wearing a trainer shirt. And not just a kiss, like fully pressed up against him, hands all over each other, straddling him. I stood there shocked long enough for them to notice me. She jumped off of him like she had been electrocuted. He backed away instantly like he was the one caught cheating. She gets out of the car and starts rambling. It's not what it looks like. We were just talking. I didn't say anything. I honestly couldn't. I just handed her the water bottle and walked back to my car because I knew if I opened my mouth, it'd be a huge scene. She tried chasing after me, crying, swearing it was just kissing and just emotional, and she didn't mean for it to go anywhere. Found out later this had been going on for months. All those late night workouts were actually them hooking up in his car or hers, or inside the gym office after hours. I moved into my brother's place a week ago. We haven't talked since except through texts about bills. The stupidest part, she still goes to the same gym. That is terrible. That is seriously so sad. There's a comment. She didn't even check in at the gym. That says everything. She wasn't even trying to hide it at that point. And what's crazy is she literally said, "Can you come bring my water bottle?" Granted, she did think it would take him a while because she thought he was home or wherever. I don't know. But she obviously was not expecting him to be there right away. But still, it's like, bro, how thirsty were you? Clearly, very thirsty. Oh gosh, another comment said, my ex did the same thing. Gym time was actually car time with her trainer. You're not alone, dude. It sucks, but you got out early. I don't know if you got out, bro. I'm pretty sure they were married, right? So it's not like you really got out of if it was just like you were dating. Yeah, they've been married 6 years. That's a good amount of time. It's crazy though because there's like studies on it that people are more likely to develop like romantic or sexual feelings towards someone who gives them focused one-on-one attention, like encourages them, compliments their progress, sees them regularly, knows their insecurities, works with them in a private or semi-private setting. So physical trainers obviously hit all 6 of those criterias. You're sweaty, vulnerable, working in your body, and they're right there hyping you up. Um, oh wow. So it creates what psychologists call false intimacy, where the client feels emotionally close because of the environment, not because of an actual relationship. This is the same phenomenon that happens with therapists, physical therapists, massage therapists, coaches, even hairdressers. I could definitely see hairdressers being one of them for sure. It is this like false intimacy when you are getting your hair done, male or female or whatever. I definitely could see that. You guys want to know something crazy too? Why clients become attracted to trainers based on psychology. Studies show that endorphins and physical exertion can mimic the feeling of chemistry. Your brain literally misinterprets the physical high as emotional attraction. That's so crazy. This one's also really sad, but it's why trainers sometimes cross boundaries because they're in a power role. They control your workout, your progress, your self esteem, your physical comfort, and it creates a dynamic similar to a coach or mentor. It's so sad. I think it's really great that the husband walked away. He could have done a lot more damage than that, and I think it was a good thing that there's, like, the fight or flight response, and he definitely was choosing the flight response, and probably a little bit of the disassociation as well thing. That one's really sad, but so common. It's just crazy that that stuff happens all the freaking time. Now we're gonna go on to story number 4, the last story of this week's episode. This is from the subreddit Infidelity. Wife caught having an affair. Do I give her a chance? My wife, 42F, we will call her Kay, of 9 years, was caught having an affair by the girlfriend Sarah of the guy Brian that Kay is cheating on me. Joe, 46M, with. The Sarah contacted Kay and demanded answers. Sarah threatened to expose the affair to me if Kay didn't come clean. Kay told me about the affair, saying it was a one-time thing. Sarah contacted me and we compared notes. Apparently, it's been building for weeks and they have met at a hotel for sex and even have had sex at Brian and Sarah's apartment. Meanwhile, Kay had concocted elaborate stories to cover her affair. I blindly trusted her because we have been married for 9 years and have 2 children under 6 years old together. The last 5 years have been like peeling an onion of lies, each time being told that that's all there is until Sarah and I compare notes and discover more truth. I'm the majority of financial support for the family, earning about 4 times Kay's small salary. Brian and Kay are coworkers at a public hospital and earn a small wage. Text messages reveal that Brian has said he would take care of Kay, whatever that means. Kay wants a second chance and says she messed up and is sorry. I asked for details and she said they slept together 3 times last Wednesday in a hotel, then again Saturday afternoon and evening at his apartment. My 2 young boys will suffer the most from what's been done. Sarah has posted things on social media identifying my wife and the affair. I told Brian via text to cease contacts with my wife. Everyone involved, including me, work from home, so it's crazy that this could happen. My wife and I work in rooms 10 feet apart. I've been so naive. How do we deal with the fact that Kay and Brian work together? It's a public hospital with zero tolerance for sexual misconduct. Both would likely be fired if people found out. How do I get through tomorrow? I'm humiliated, angry, hurt, and devastated. Kay wants to reconcile. Should I continue to allow Kay to have access to my bank accounts? I considered opening new accounts and moving things out of her reach. I understand a divorce will split things evenly in the end, but in the meantime, she can try to live on her small income. The ATM is closed. Edit. She recently began spending more money than usual on her hair appointments, color and styling, Botox, and waxing. She can't afford any of those things, so I pay for them. She even had me choose which pants made her butt look the best before she went to his house. Sarah and I have talked a lot the last few days, and it's clear that AP and my wife were in a somewhat serious relationship, not just a hookup. Sarah and I have actually developed a bond in the midst of the darkness. I'm helping her get on her feet and get a place on her own. I feel guilty for what my wife did to her. Sarah was looking forward to having all the things I had with my wife, like kids and a family. I am glad that I can help her and we have become support for each other. I know there'd be people out there that would say, like, you can't just, like, financially take everything away from that person, even if they've cheated. But there's definitely something to say about every person is going to react in a different way when they have been betrayed. And definitely one of the things he's doing is his nervous system is in like a protection mode. It's not just like an emotional reaction. So to him, withholding finances is definitely one of his ways to like protect himself. I think that's something that is hard for people to understand without going through intense therapy is the reconciliation is different from relationship repair. When you have betrayed someone and you just look at them and say, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again, and expect them to just fully trust and like move on, it's not going to happen. There is a lot of betrayal trauma on that other partner's end where that's not going to heal them whatsoever. And it's also not going to heal the cheater either. And they'll most likely do it again. Just because you decide to stay together after something so damaging to your relationship doesn't mean you are going to make it through. There has to be a sense of structured rebuilding of trust, which would obviously, I believe, include couples therapy, transparency, agreements, and definitely new communication patterns. So, anyways, that's where we're landing today. A reminder that cheating isn't always candlelit hotel rooms and dramatic movie scenes. If you've ever been through betrayal, you know how much it F's up your nervous system, your sense of safety. So whether you've been the person hurt or the person healing, be gentle with yourself. You are not crazy. You're reacting to real trauma. I do want to know which one you guys think was the fake. This one might be one that you weren't expecting to be the fake, but it is. So that's my little hint for you. Um, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. So follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave us a review on our podcast. We are just so grateful for you guys. We never thought in a million years that we would have a podcast that is growing so fast, and it's been so exciting. Christmas is coming, so our next episode will be Christmas themed, and I'm really excited. And Joe will be here, I promise. Anyways, thank you all, and hope you have a great day.